Right. So last class we discussed about this abstract class and abstract method. In this abstract class, abstract method, I said there are two important queries. One, are abstract methods compulsory in abstract class? Answer was no. Second question was, for abstract methods, is abstract class compulsory? For abstract for abstract methods, is abstract class compulsory? Answer is yes. And compulsory abstract methods need to be overridden. Abstract method always will have only declaration, that is called signature. And another important thing is, whenever we create a derived class from abstract base class, compulsory all abstract methods should be overridden. All abstract methods should be overridden in derived class. Compulsory. If you don't override, then it will be error. Try. Remove this method now. I remove base class. In base class, we have two abstract methods, but we have I have overridden only one. One is not overridden. So this will end up with error. And if you read that error, you can find the message. Class circle does not implement area. That is the error. Then if you don't want to override, then do one thing. Mark this class also as abstract. Error will go. Yes, gone. Error is gone. Then what you have to do? Compulsory, you have to create one more class now. Compulsory. You have to create one more class. Go for it. Another class. Class ellipse extends circle. Which method? You didn't write? Area. That I have added here. Yes. Instead of writing in circle class, I have created one more derived class from circle, and then that the method which you didn't implement in circle class, we implemented in ellipse class. Like this we can create. Okay, now I want to bring back my original code only. Just for demonstration purpose, I created this. Okay, now coming to another important thing is, whenever we create abstract method, these two are always illegal combinations. One, abstract method cannot be private. Means private abstract is wrong. Error. And second illegal combination is static abstract is also illegal. Error. Static method cannot be abstract. Yeah. Yes. A static member cannot be abstract. So which two are illegal combinations now? Private abstract is illegal combination. Static abstract is also illegal combination. Now create. And you cannot create instance of abstract class. Math figure Fig equals to null initial value. Because you cannot create instance, I went with null. Console.write end enter math object name, semicolon. String s equal to console.readline. If s is equals to circle, then fig equal to new circle constructor, else fig equal to new square constructor. Fig dot dimension is equal to some value, console dot writeline, area equal to plus fig dot area constructor, console dot writeline, perimeter equal to plus fig dot perimeter construct. Best. Control F5. Now here instance of circle assigned to abstract class object. Yes, same story. That is the reason give circle. I'll explain you one more part. Circle. Area and perimeter of circle. Run again. This time you give square. 4920. So now I want to conclude by one statement. I want to conclude one statement. What is it? What is the statement? See, the important point is here. Here I said like uh, here assigned to null. It's only to have initial value, not compulsory that abstract class object should be set to null. No, not compulsory. Only for initial value to null, I have set that point. Okay, and here if I give circle, then it will have instance of circle, and then fig will be assigned by that value, right? And if it is other than circle, means even if I input anything, it will go for square. If you are interested to make it work only for square, then you would have added the condition. Means only if you give square only, then this code will work for us. Okay. Now you give something else, you won't be calculated by value. Okay. Now connecting with this topic, we have another important important point on this topic is uh, static class cannot have abstract methods. These are general queries. Sealed class cannot have abstract methods. Why? Because sealed class restricts inheritance. Sealed class restricts inheritance. For that reason, you cannot have abstract methods in it. So sealed abstract is illegal combination. You cannot have. Highly impossible. Because sealed class always makes that class to work as individual class, independent class. So you cannot make it available for this one. Why static class cannot have this one? I already said. static class will not allow. Static class will not allow to write what? Abstract methods. Why? Because static class can have only static members. Only static members. And another important thing, usually think for a while of what I said about overriding. Base class will have virtual method, derived class will have overridden method. So even in the presence of virtual method, derived class method was going for execution. Even though in the presence of virtual method, I'm saying, still it was going to what? Derived class method execution, means base class will not have execution. Same thing we did now here. As a base, as however we don't have execution of virtual method, then why do you write unnecessary code? Why did you open the block? That is what you have removed here. You removed that block, you removed that code, you just terminated the method by semicolon. So now I would like to conclude just by a single statement. Abstract method is nothing but pure virtual method. Normal virtual method, this is pure virtual method. Which one? Abstract method is called. Abstract method is called pure virtual method. Okay, now another concept. For example, just now we proved that object of a class can be assigned to what? Null. Same way, question is, can you assign integer variable also null? Integer I equals to null. Error it is. Console dot write line I equals to null. First point, you cannot assign null. You cannot. It's giving error. Error. Cannot convert null to int because it is non-nullable value type. Value type. It means value cannot hold null. So interviews may they'll ask, can a value type variable be set to null? First point, no. No. There is no direct specification. If they ask, is there any other way to assign null value for a value type? Yes. What is it? Then you have to put question mark valid. Yes. Now you can set your I with null. Now if I is containing null, it is comparing now. Null equals to null. Last answer should be true for us. Last answer. I mean, I'll execute the code. Wait for last value. Yes, true. So you should be a little cautious when the question is being asked. They ask, can object be set to null? Yes. Can you set null to a value type? No. No. Then how do you assign if you require a null value for a value type? Between data type and variable, you have to put question mark. That's just a small topic about how to assign null value for a value type. Chalo, right. Little go further. Now we are going to start for a topic called interfaces. And fundamental thing about interface is first point, I mean a basic point I'm saying. Interface is, it is collection of abstract methods and properties. Interesting. Which means which means interface cannot have fields. Simple conclusion. Which means interface cannot have fields. It can have only two things, abstract methods and properties, but you cannot have what? Fields. Then we come to a point Now question is, what is a property? What is a property? Introduction class mein when we have come up with introduction to OOPS, at that time I said that class is a collection of fields, methods and properties. But today we have come to a stage where to understand interfaces compulsory you should have knowledge on properties. For that reason we will talk on properties today. Okay, come back. Oh, I create one class called demo. Yes. I create one private field, integer I. I create instance demo D, new demo. And we all very well know that private is never accessible outside the class. Private, never accessible outside the class. But I'm interested to provide value for it. I want to provide value. I value should be given now. I value. Some number. If it would have been public, I would have given direct d dot I equal to some number. But point is now, because it is not what do you call uh, public, rather I created it as private. So now there is no point or there is no way to assign. You can't say now d dot I. You can't say that d dot I equals to some number is invalid now. Okay, then what to do? Now you have been left with two alternate solutions now for this process, as we are unable to initialize value. One solution is create a constructor in a class and assign value. Create constructor in a class and assign value. Constructor in a class and what to do? Assign the value. Or else create a method in a class and assign the value. Because it is private, I'm saying. Because it is private, as of now, I gave you two solutions. As of now. One solution I gave is write constructor, through that you provide value. Another solution I give, create a method and assign a value. Okay. Now, apart from constructor and method, now I'm going to create another way to provide value for private field. You can rather say it as third technique now. Constructor is one solution, method is second solution, and third solution is So now what to do? Apart from constructor and method, now we are going to introduce what? Property. Now property, main purpose of creating a property. Now the third reason to provide value for private field. Now how do you create a property and how is it going to assign value? That part we will discuss now. So go for it. Introduce a property. Public integer j. Don't terminate by semicolon. If you terminate by semicolon, it becomes field. And you didn't write parenthesis, so this it is not even a method. It is not a method. And now inside this property, we are going to write set and you call it as accessor. Set accessor. And what to do? I equal to whose value you want to give? J's value. But over. It means J value is given to I. J value is assigned to I. D dot J equal to 17. When I say D dot J equal to 17, it means J will receive 17. That 17 J value is copied to I. Now how to confirm that I is 17? Write a method. Yes, I is 17. Who gave the 17? J. Who gave to J? Object, main. Acha. So this is the set accessor. Set accessor. What is its role? It will get the value of property into field. Into field. If I have one more, you can go like this. K equal to value. N equal to value. Multiple. That's what I said. Multiple accessors. Multiple assignments can be done in one set block or one set accessor. Okay, reverse now. This has a value called 55. Who? Private field. Private field has a value called 55. Okay. That I want to give to J. Okay. For that I write get accessor. Who want to get the value? Property. From whom? Field. So then we write return. When you say return I, it will return private field value to property. Get accessor. Now you come down. Now to justify that J is 55, first we will call shown. Show. And we will print both. Control F. Yes, 55, 55. 1770. Get accessor, set accessor. Now these all things I only created. Private field I created. Public property I created. Get block, set block I created. You want same thing to be done manually? No, sorry, automatically? Then you can say prop full. Press tab key for 2 times. Yes, everything you got. One private field we got, one public property we got get block, set block, everything automatically done. All the things manually instead of writing manual code, we brought it by using code snippet. Even there can be a property in this way as well, where you write like this: public integer k block open get semicolon set semicolon. These are called auto im- automatic implemented property or auto implemented property. And whenever we have automatic implemented property created, for that property, hidden field is generated. Hidden field. Hidden field is generated. How do you get this? Same thing I'll create, you see. Earlier I created prop full. Now I type only prop. Prop, press tab key for 2 times. Yes, see, public int my property get set accessor. Both of them have got declared. That was K I created. This is property which we brought by using a code snippet. As of now, we discussed two code snippets: prop full and prop both. Okay. Now, another important thing about this, especially this auto implemented property, and that point what is, I made it available like this, or else you can put all of them in single line also. Why? However, I'm not going to do any coding part in it. Get block, set block, and you set your value 11. Yes, it's like you're giving value to property. You're giving value to property, auto implemented property. It will be like this. Can you access it? Same, like it has become field only. No? It has become field. But actually, why you're calling property? I said no. I said property. Why? Because you have get and set accessors available in it. That is how properties will work. Now, coming to our next part, what we learn is I create now interface. Remember one rule. In C sharp, there is a naming convention. There is a rule for providing an interface name. And the rule what I'm not saying it as syntax, I'm saying it as naming convention. I mean, this is what Microsoft provides for all interfaces, for all built-in interfaces. Microsoft always start the interface name by capital I. We too will follow the same. So for that, what I would like to do now, I say interface I math fig. Yes, this is my interface. Started with I, capital I. And inside this, I'll write double, double dimension, get semicolon, set semicolon. Yes, this is what double property, auto implemented property. And by default, properties created in interface are public by default. Whatever the property you create, it's by default public. You don't need to write public there. It's of no use. Again, I say double area, double perimeter. Yes, these two are abstract methods. Both of them. Both of them are abstract methods. Area and perimeter. When both of them are abstract methods, interesting thing is these two methods are even public. It means you don't need to write public, you don't need to write abstract. Not required at all. So now I come to a conclusion that in interface, whatever members we create, by default, they are public. Property is public, methods are also public. And another special point added to that method is by default, interface methods are abstract. Because when you write signature of a method, when you go for declaration of a method, you might have noticed that we always start with, we terminate the method by what? Semicolon. Okay, now next what I do, I have created an interface with all declarations, with all declarations. Now you share this interface with all those people who are working or who is in need of this interface. Design is over. Now implementation. Class, circle, implements, I math fig. I math fig. Yes. Circle implements interface. Square also implements interface. Now I write my code here. Declare private double radius private field. I want to provide value for private field. Go for property. Public double area. And before we write area, first I'll write property I said no. Okay, let me write property then. Public double dimension. Set block. Whose value you want to give? Dimension. To whom you want to give? Radius equal to value. Yes. Get block also you write. Get even I don't feel that we have this get block also. We'll try once without get block. That is important for me because I want to provide dimension value to radius. Now, what else you need? You want double area return mass dot pi into radius into radius perimeter. Return 2 into mass dot pi into radius. Yes. See the message? Circle does not implement interface member dimension for get block. So compulsory you should write get block and you should write return radius. Yes, now error is gone. But you might have noticed every line of this class code I manually have written it. This time I'll try to get it automatic. This is called implicit implementation, the technique what I'm doing now. Put your cursor on that interface name, click on to that quick actions and click on implement interface. Yes, automatically all the things have been done. Create one field here. Private double side dimension. Get off. We say return side block. In set block, you require to say here size is equals to value. Yes, all the things I just have done in single line. You can split that into different lines, your wish. Then area. Here I write return side into side. Here return 4 into side. Now come down. Here I require to create what acha, before I go, first I'll show you that this colon whichever I use now for class circle and for class square, this compiler now reads as implementation. Circle implements IMAX fig. Square implement. That part first let me justify. Only compile this code. Success. Go to that location please to see that point. Just you require. Yes, close all this. CD, CS, batch 6 p.m. slash demon.net app, demon C sharp app, bin, debug. Yes, you have your exe. ILDASM, demo on C sharp app.exe. Yes, now see the difference. Circle, open that class, and you can see here class circle implement iMath extends you don't find. Same way if I open square, class square here, square implement iMath. Yes. So whatever the example we did for abstract class, same thing we tried with the interfaces. Same example. As we have a rule that abstract class cannot be instantiated, here also same rule. Interfaces cannot be instantiated. Only object can be created. Now question is which classes or which elements in C sharp cannot be instantiated? Which elements in C sharp cannot be instantiated? It means for which classes you cannot create instance. As of yesterday, class abstract class cannot be instantiated. As per today's class, interfaces cannot be instantiated. And in the covered content of oops, we have another class which cannot be instantiated, and that is your static class cannot be. It means on the whole, there are three things that whose objects cannot be or who cannot be created with their instances. Static class cannot be instantiated. Abstract class cannot be instantiated. Interfaces also cannot be instantiated. Okay, now coming to this main method code, we write similar what we have written for abstract class. Same code, no change at all. I math fig fig null message circle fg equal if equal to square, fi new square, fi g dot dimension equals some number here. So area equal to fig dot a. Yes. Now run the code. Circle. Yes. Run the code. Square. 6430. So now comparison wise, just now in previous topic I said, abstract methods are called pure virtual function. Normal virtual function, abstract method is called pure virtual function. And interface is pure abstract class. Pure abstract class. Normal abstract class and interface comparison, if you would say, abstract class is similar to normal class only. Why? Because abstract class can have everything: constructors, destructors, static methods, static fields, everything you can write in abstract class, everything. Writing everything in abstract class plus abstract method is added. Interface can have only two things in it. Either you'll have abstract method or you'll have property. But that's it. You cannot have fields, you cannot write constructors, you cannot write destructor, you cannot write static members, nothing. And these all things are valid for interfaces. All the things. Currently, what you did in the current example, I mean, in this current example, what we did is we created one class and we implemented an interface in it. It means one interface is implemented in two classes. One interface is implemented in how many? Two classes. Possibility is like this also. One class can have multiple interfaces implementation. That is also possible. One class can have multiple interfaces. Because that one class is implementing with multiple interfaces, don't say that it is multiple inheritance. No, never. Because I already said you that I already have said you what? Multiple inheritance C sharp does not support. No. But don't call this as multiple inheritance. Which one? One class, multiple interfaces when you implement. It's not called multiple inheritance. It's called multiple interface implementation. And even a point we have like interface to interface also we can have connection. Then you call it as extends. Interface I1 extends interface I2. Possible. Or you can say like this interface IA1 block open. Second, interface IA2 extends IA1. Okay, two different points. And even situation arises like this also we can have. One interface can have extension of multiple interfaces also. That facility also we have. One interface can have multiple interface extension we can have. Or even this facility also we have. One interface you can have extension and the same interface you can have implementation as well. And especially in C sharp, interface can be implemented in two ways. What I have shown you just now is implicit implementation. And we have another technique to study as well, that is called explicit implementation. Okay. So now we know only about implicit implementation. Explicit implementation we don't know. We have to still go with it. Okay. Probably in tomorrow's class I'll talk about that and then we'll proceed with the remaining other topics of session.